Okay. Hey guys, I just wanted to do a little training Zoom, especially for new ambassadors. Kind of been getting together a few things, just things that have really helped me in the business. I'm still learning. I'm learning a lot, but just wanted to do a training of some good things to get started. For those of you that are wanting to work the business, honestly, no matter what your goals are, if you just want to get your products paid for, or if you want it as a business, all of these things are really, really awesome to be able to do that. So I'm going to be looking at my papers because I was just writing down a bunch of stuff, writing a bunch of notes. I like to start with writing down a why. And what that is, like why you got into plexus, like what motivated you financially, health reasons, whatever that is. It's really good just to write that down, because there's going to be days where you're having a hard day, and you're discouraged, you want to give up, and that's going to motivate you to keep going. Also, a good why is super powerful to share with other people. That attracts other people to your business. When you can write out something that's heartfelt and genuine. Don't be afraid to dream big. Sometimes your why might not be something, it's something that you see happening in the future. Like for me, I've written down some big whys, and I have some big dreams. Obviously, I want to take it to the top. I want to go diamond. Not all of you might have that big of goal, but whatever goals you have, just write that down. And make it personal, like, maybe get out of debt, pay off that truck. Maybe you just want some extra shopping money. Maybe you want your products paid for. Maybe you want, some health related issues, whatever it is, just write that out. And that's really going to help you in creating messages and stuff to send to people too. So just take a little bit of time and write out like why you joined plexus, what attracted you to the business. And your why is going to change. My whys have changed as well. Now that I have my products paid for, I have some other dreams and some other, visions. As you go through life, things change. So, from time to time, I write a new why, and it's just really good to kind of look back and reevaluate stuff, make new goals. And then I want you guys to come up with a Frank's list. Some of you who went through your welcome pack, they talk a little bit about that in your welcome pack. But what Frank stands for is friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids connection, service organization, or spouse's friend. This is like a list of 100 people. So you really got to just take a moment, take a little bit of time, go through everything, rack your brain, relatives, people you haven't talked to for a while, all your close friends, spouses, friends, daycare, preschool, teacher connections. But they came up with something that they call Franks, and that's to just kind of get your mind rolling. But I have an ongoing list. My list might look a little bit different because I've used up a lot of my what we call warm market. So a lot of the people close to me, I've shared most plexus with most of all those people. So, but anyways, this really helps jog my mind. I go back to it from time to time to just help me come up with a running list and I keep adding people to it all the time. So it's like new friends I add on Facebook, people I meet when I'm out and about, people I run into. But you should have an ongoing list so you don't ever run out of people to talk to. So that's another good thing, is to come up with a running list of friends and people and anybody, your neighbors, strangers, it can be anybody. Okay, and then we're going to start with what we call IPA. And that is stands for income producing activity. You might hear people talk about, do your daily IPA or whatever. The reason I call it income producing activity is because, a lot of us, when we sit down and, get our Facebook out, we're just going to be, a lot of us just go scrolling through the scrolling through Facebook and we see a link somebody shared and we stop. I mean, I find myself doing this all the time, you know, I'm like, oh my goodness, that just catches my attention. You know, you stop and watch the video, and before you know it, you're 10, 15 minutes, however much time you allotted, whatever is used up, and you didn't get anything done. So it's called IPA because you want to focus on those things that are actually going to produce money, going to produce income. And a lot of us, you know, we're busy moms. We don't have a lot of time. Sometimes, you know, my business time is really like a slot of 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. There's some days that's what happens to me, you know. For me personally, I've sat down and come up with a schedule that's working for me right now. It doesn't always work like this because obviously with little kids, you have to be flexible. But right now we get up, have breakfast. After breakfast, I have the kids watch a little movie, and that's my time, my business time. So I go to my room, and I mean, I get interrupted because of little kids, but once they're a little older, you can kind of train them to give you a little bit of time. But this is just what it looks like for me. I'm just sharing this to kind of help you guys. So I sit down and I have a list of things that I do for IPA, and I focus on that. I just go through the list, because if not, if I get distracted, start scrolling through Facebook, I'm not going to get anything done. And our time is very precious. So anyways, so I do a little bit then, and then I get a little bit more done when the boys are taking their naps. That's kind of what my day looks like. That's how I work my plexus. Sometimes I do fit some stuff in throughout the day. I have to watch myself that, you know, my priorities are right. I'm not always like, responding to people all day long, because then my kids are grouchy. You know, they aren't getting undivided attention. So that's kind of what I do. But anyways, a little more about IPA. Let's see. Okay, for me with my IPA, I reach out to a couple new people and share plexus with them. That's about top of my list. So I have a running list on Facebook, where that's kind of the same thing as Frank's list. You can organize it really however you want to. If you want to have it on paper, wherever. For me, since my Frank's list or my new contact list is always changing, I like to keep that on my notes in Facebook. That way I can kind of, you know, move names around and delete it without like a messy paper being scribbled out. But that's just me. So what I do is, on the top of my list are new contacts. The top of my list are people that I've started conversations with. And the bottom of my list are people that are, and I kind of separate it, you know, with a big space. But the bottom of my list are people that I just added, like new friends that I haven't even started a conversation with. So anyways, one of the first things I do is find a couple people that I've been talking to already, or if they're people that are friends, because I like to start a conversation with somebody, you know, kind of connect with them. And a lot of times I try to kind of gear it towards bringing up like health stuff or what do you work or whatever, because that really gives me an opportunity to bring plexus into the conversation without like making them feel like, you know, I'm just trying to push something down their throat or set like that's all I, you know, I don't care about connecting with them, because I do care about connecting with them. So that's kind of, you know, a few things that I do. So I find a few people and I share plexus with them. And then I put a little like mark beside their name, so I know that, you know, I shared plexus. Or like I used to just like, once they responded back, if they were interested, I had something called a follow-up list. I put their name on the follow-up list, and then I would delete their name off the new contact list. So there's different ways to keep track of it, but you want to have like a new contact list, and you for sure want to have a follow-up list, because follow-up is so important. So anyways, and then I start a few new conversations with some new people, and then I do a few posts on Facebook about plexus. They recommend you doing between 1 and 3 posts a day on Facebook, and maybe if you do, for every 3 posts, do one post about plexus. You definitely you want them to be very authentic. If you can just like, you know, put them into your daily life, like, you know, picture of you drinking some pink drink. Oh, this is, you know, this drink has really given me energy today, or whatever little thing you come up with. But if you're not sure what to post, reach out to me, reach out to your upline. You can copy and paste stuff. Don't just share the post. If you find a good post that one of your plexus friends posted, you're very free to just copy and paste it. You don't have to ask for permission. It's kind of a one-team policy thing we have where between plexus people is that if you find a post you love, you can copy paste it. You can add your own personal touch. You can just say, here's a really cool testimony I found about this, whatever. So post stuff about plexus, try to make it authentic. And then, I do some follow-ups, and that's pretty much what my IPA looks like. Also, once you start building a team, I reach out to some people on my team, and I also do a little bit of affirmations, which I want to talk a little bit about affirmations as well. Before I do that, I have a few more things kind of related to IPA, especially starting out, that I was going to share with you. As a new ambassador starting out, I cannot emphasize enough how much three-way chats and three-way messages are going to really, really help you. Not only does it give you an extra validation, which is super important, but it gives you training so you can kind of hear how your upline is responds and how they help close people, how they follow up with people. So as soon as you join Plexus, within the next week, I like to encourage people to do a first time post, and I can help you with that. Let me know if you don't know what to say. I have lots of different ideas, lots of different first posts that are really, really great posts to get people's attention. So do a first post, and if you have anybody comment on it, or if you have, friends, relatives that are talking to you, just stick them in a group chat with me or one of your uplines, and just say something like, here's my friend Emily. She knows a lot about Plexus. She can help answer any of your questions. It can just be really, really simple like that, and I'll take over and just, see what questions they have and how we can answer it and how we can help them. Or if you have somebody really, really interested and wants to get on a Zoom call like this, a video call, we can just, do one of those. Those are really, really helpful for closing people. I did not do that as much in the beginning, and I realize now how powerful it is to have an extra validation. Even if you're super comfortable and you're super, you know how to answer all the questions, just having somebody else jump in there and share their testimony and, share, also say the same thing that you're saying, maybe in a different way. That really helps convince people, because, most people, the majority of people aren't just going to believe the first thing they hear about Plexus. They really have to be exposed to it numerous times. So honestly, the way I think about it now, opportunity meetings, just getting a three-way chat with somebody else talking and saying the same thing about Plexus, all of those counts for extra exposure. So sometimes, or just seeing another Facebook post. I forget what the number is. I'm thinking it's people need 8 to 10 exposures or something. The majority of people do before they sign up with Plexus. So that kind of gives you an idea, and I kind of look at it that way now, why getting people on opportunity calls or posting on Facebook and follow up is so important. Actually, while I'm talking about that, I'm going to read off something really, really cool just to show you how important follow-up. I looked at some follow-up statistics. It says 48% of people never follow up with a prospect. 25% of people make a second contact and then they stop. 12% of salespeople only make 3 contacts and they stop. 10% of people make more than 3 contacts. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. That's kind of sad. So you're going to be looking for a whole bunch of people if you're only going to be making 1 contact. You're not going to be growing very fast. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the 4th contact. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. That kind of is one reason why we stress the importance of following up. And following up does not mean just reminding somebody over and over again, what do you think about plexus? Are you ready to join my team now? Yes, sometimes I do say that, but a lot of times it's just like, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? Kind of letting them know that you're there, you know, whenever they're ready to sign up. Sometimes that's like, hey, I'm having an online party, you know, you want to listen in. Also, another way you can kind of follow up is just commenting on their stuff and them seeing you post about Facebook. That's like a really non-pushy way because it just comes up in their news feed. And excuse me, I'm going to share a little bit like how Facebook works and how you can make your post show up in your friend's news feed. Some really cool stuff. Some of you guys might already be super knowledgeable with Facebook allegories and how it works, but that was something I didn't know. So some really cool stuff I kind of been learning. I want to go back and talk a little bit about affirmations. Affirmations have been huge to me. Growing up, I thought they were kind of stupid, you know, for people that were, you know, needed counseling or, you know, I don't know. That's kind of where I heard it first, is from counselors. And I thought it was kind of a crazy thing, like talking to yourself. But in plexus, they talk, a lot of leaders, diamonds, talk about how important affirmations are. Affirmations are basically turning your fears and into positive proclamations. So basically, you know, all of us are telling ourselves something. All of us are telling us, all of us have a lot of fears, and all of us are telling us, in our heads, we're telling ourselves, you know, we can't do something, or we're just shy, or, you know, whatever, you know what it is. But your words have such a powerful effect on the person that you are. You're going to become whatever you tell yourself. So I actually decided, when I realized how powerful the words are that you tell yourself, I sat down and wrote a list of basically my fears, and then I turned it around and turned it into positive beliefs. You know, I had a lot of fears holding me back. I had a lot of insecurities. And as I was trying to work my plexus business, a lot of these things started coming out. Things like, you know, like just afraid to go up and talk to people, and that I was a failure and I couldn't work this business, that I wasn't going to go anywhere, I wasn't going to rank up. A lot of discouraging things. So I had to turn those around and say positive things, even things that, I mean, literally when I wrote my affirmations, some days I would listen to them and just laugh because they seemed so far-fetched. Like, I told myself I was a good public speaker. I'm a good public speaker. And that I love talking in front of crowds. Well, do I love talking in front of crowds? No. But my mindset on that has completely changed. I used to tell myself I could not do it. It was the last thing in the world that I ever thought I would do. I thought I just thought it wasn't me, which, yes, it was a big thing for me to overcome. And I still get scared. Like, I still freak out talking in front of people. But it's crazy to see the change in my behavior as I told myself the truth. And as I told myself things that I could see, you know, positive things that I wanted to become. So write your fears down, turn those around, say positive things, say your dreams, tell yourself you're a good wife, you're a good mother, whatever those negative things that you tell yourself, turn those around, write them down as affirmations, and read them out loud, or use a repeat it again app, and listen to them. It will completely change your life. I have an awesome video on that I heard that really impacted me. I can share with you too as well. Let's see. I want to talk just shortly about Facebook a little bit, and what I've learned and how to use that as a social marketing. And I use Facebook mostly. You can also, you don't have to use Facebook to grow your business. It's maybe one of the things I kind of hide behind, but I also think, like, as moms, a lot of us, you know, we don't get out, and Facebook can be an awesome way to reach out to a ton of people. So if you're not using Facebook, I'd really encourage you to look into it, because there's a huge market out there. You know, you can connect with people that you never met before. But also, like, don't just contain it to Facebook. Like, you know, when you're out and about, when you're you're checking out through the cashier, like, you can talk to the cashier person, you can talk to the waitress, I've made a lot of connections with, at a children's museum, at the local library, just connecting with people and then get their Facebook information. Even if you never talk to them about Plexus right away, if you get their Facebook information, they're going to start seeing your posts, and, you know, eventually in the relationship, there's going to come a time when you can share that with them about Plexus. Or maybe something that they share about their health, you can just bring it up in the conversation. I just really like to make it genuine. So I do bring it up, though. You know, once I start a relationship with somebody, I do eventually just bring it up, just ask them, you know, I was curious if you've ever heard of Plexus. Anyways, back to Facebook. I got a little distracted there. Okay, so I said a little bit that I keep a running list of my new contacts on Facebook, like people I friend. I try to send out a few new friend requests every day, and then I add them to my list. Let me see. Okay, so with the new Facebook allegories, and I'm not sure all the rules on this, but the majority of your posts are only going to show up in your friend's newsfeed that you're commenting on. So, you know, even if you post about Facebook and a lot of stuff, a lot of your friends are never going to see those posts, especially as your friend list grows. So something that I have really got, can't think of the word right now. I've started doing this a little bit differently now that I have more friends. And I think this is a really, really cool idea, and it helps so much with follow-up. It makes it really, really easy. Something that I've learned, you can create lists on Facebook. You have to do it on the computer, but you can actually do these lists on your phone, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But you have to actually create the list on the computer. If you go to the home page, and then click on Friends List, then there's a little button that says Create a New List. And there I create, like, for me, I have follow-up lists. You know, people I've talked to Plexus about, or I have people, like, I put dream people on those lists, like people that could be amazing. Basically, anybody that I want to see my Plexus post. You know, it could be people I talked to already, or it could be people that I haven't talked to yet. But I really want to add those people that I really want to keep up with, you know. So I put, and then I actually even have a list for people that have already told me no. But, you know, I'm not going to go back and keep talking them over and over and over again. But if I just interact and stay friends, you know, I want people to know too that I care about them. And, you know, even if they say no, I still want to be their friend. So just me interacting on their posts, that means my posts are going to come up in their news feed, and they're going to see that. So, you know, that's an awesome way. There's a lot of people that have said no and then come back and do want to join Plexus. It just wasn't a good time for them. Okay, so once you create this list, you can actually go on your phone. You go to, like, the menu page where it says, like, your groups, friends, like that page, and towards the bottom there's a button that says favorites. I just figured this out the other day. So cool. There's a button that says favorites, and if you click on that, you can add to favorites. So all the lists that you created on the computer will actually show up there, and you can add them to favorites on your phone. And that way you can comment on those lists. So I usually put about 10 to 15 people on each list, and then once a day, if I have time, I kind of call that my follow-up thing. I'll just, you know, go on that list, and then I'll scroll through, try to comment on my friend's stuff, and then done. You know, it just makes follow-up so much easier. I do try to connect personally, but I feel like this way is a lot less annoying, and, you know, it's that way you don't let people slip through the cracks, especially people that are, you know, you really want to follow up with. You want to see your posts, and you want to, you know, keep in contact with them. So yeah, I think that kind of sums up a lot of it. That's a lot of information in a little bit of time. But But hopefully I didn't overwhelm you guys. I guess I just want to say to you that if you guys really, if you believe in this business, you can totally have it. And I believe in you guys, and I know that you guys can be successful in this business. We're here together. We're a team. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Please ask. I'm here for you, and I want to help you guys be successful. Hope you guys are having a great day.